Facebook has just taken out two, not one, but two full-page newspaper ads absolutely trashing Apple for the new iOS 14 prompt, the one that forces apps to ask your permission before they can track you across other apps and the web, calling it an all-out assault on small businesses and the free internet. Probably babies too, maybe puppies. I don't think I've gotten this many requests for a video since Tim Epic stream sniped hundreds of millions of iPhone users right off of Fortnite. But, plot twist, I've already made exactly that video. I just made it for Apple Talk, the podcast I co-host with psychotherapist Georgia Dow. So, hit that subscribe button and bell so you don't miss the inevitable Zuck is angry follow-up, and here are the highlights. Sponsored by Skillshare. So at WWDC, Apple's developer conference back in June, Apple announced a new privacy feature. So just like they pop up a requester that says this app can use the microphone or not use the microphone, can access your photos or not, your contacts or not, can use the camera or not, all of those things. They now have a new one that says, can they track you across apps and websites or not? And Facebook got hella mad.
Were they?
So angry.
This is Facebook's full page ad. And it says, we are standing up to Apple for small businesses everywhere. At Facebook, small businesses is at the core of our business. More than 10 million businesses use our advertising tools each month to find new customers,
Let me insert
hire
something
employees,
here.
and engage in their communities.
Facebook cares so much about small businesses that a few years ago, they made it so that if you would join the page of a small business because you wanted to get all the information about that small business would have to pay for the people who followed their page to get that information, or they would refuse to show that information to the small business. This is Facebook standing up for small businesses.
Yes. Thank you, Facebook. Thank you, Facebook and Epic, for standing up for the little people.
Yes.
Yeah. Many in the small business community have shared concerns about Apple's forced software update, which will limit businesses' ability to run personalized ads and reach their customers effectively.
So
here we go. Saying that one is that they're forcing it and that it'll limit the ability to run personalized ads, which is, and I'll say it, and you can tell me if I'm true or not, a bold-faced lie.
Yes. The software updates are not forced. As you well know, because you don't do them.
I don't update. Yeah. I'm so updated
you can go,
to this one.
Like they're annoying if you don't, but you don't have to update. There's nothing forced about the update.
Forced.
And also the update, all it does is add, like you said, that requester.
And it's only if you use Apple products.
Yes.
So this is not changing the internet at all.
No.
44% of small and medium businesses started to increase their usage in personalized ads. Like all I hear is Facebook saying we're going to lose money, right? This all sounds like we're just going to lose money. On social media during the pandemic, so they're like, we've made so much money and now we're going to lose some. According to a new study, without personalized ads, Facebook's data shows that the average small business advertisers stand to see a cut in over 60% of their sales.
So let's just define this too. So what Apple is talking about here is what is often called third-party tracking. So if you're
this is very interesting.
Yeah, so if you're on Facebook and you join the sourdough club because it's 2020 and everyone has to make sourdough, and you're in the sourdough club, Facebook is still allowed to know everything about you without any extra permissions. So they can service you ads on buy the sourdough starter, here's the best mixing bowl, all of that stuff. All this is limiting is that if you then go to the web and search for Lego and then go back to your Facebook sourdough group, Facebook has to ask you if they can show you ads about Lego.
So let's first, can you just let people know that usually Facebook will know the next website and
any website,
a whole bunch of websites after.
Yes.
Like they can follow you on the web.
Yes.
Most people don't want anyone to know what their search history really looks like. And that is your privacy. Facebook wants to be able to know that. And this would be allowing you to at least give permission to say, do I want creepy Facebook to be able to follow me around the internet?
But not even that. It's just this means that you can advertise to me based on what I'm doing on Facebook, but you can't advertise to me based on what I'm doing outside of Facebook.
Right.
And Facebook wants to do both.
They want to be able to do it. And the reason that this bothers them is because they know that if people would actually be okay about this would be no issue because everyone would say, okay, I don't mind. Facebook knows that if you actually had all of the knowledge, this is just like again, transparency, you would say no to it. And they are 100% sure that they chose to unleash ads that are filled with lies. The reason they have to twist the truth is because one, they know that we would say no to it. And two, they are scared to death of losing all of this revenue.
Well, you know my stance on this. Like, my thing is that if you are against your business, like if you believe your business would be harmed by disclosing what it is and getting consent, you're in a bad business.
Yes.
And like Google, I have issues with Google as well, but like Google isn't doing this. And
Google just sent out, I just got an email that says, oh, we're, being more transparent because they know the government's coming in on them. And they're like, this is what we want to do. Well, no, but they do say, and this is the benefit you will get from doing this.
Yes, exactly that. Like Google's like, give us your photos, and in return, we'll give you a photos app that will like show you all the people, all the, like you'll be able to search for anything.
Yeah.
And so they're saying like, we know we're asking for your data. Here's what you're getting in return.
Yeah.
And it feels like Facebook knows they have nothing of value to offer us in return.
Yes.
They just want the data.
Yes.
That's why they're angry.
They continue. While limiting how personal ads can be used does impact larger companies like us, these changes will be devastating to small businesses, adding to many challenges they face right now. And here we go. Here's the kicker. Small businesses deserve to be heard. Oh, we hear your concerns, and we stand with you.
It's so gross.
And
so the thing I was going to explain before, because I think this is super important though, is that Facebook is calling Apple hypocritical because they have a switch in iOS that lets you turn on and off ad tracking, saying that Apple is giving themselves special privilege. But that switch is very different. The switch that everybody has to follow is first party versus third party tracking. So that means that if you turn that off, Facebook is only allowed to do first party tracking.
What is the difference between first party and third party?
It's that thing I said, like when you're on Facebook, they can serve you ads based on what you're doing on Facebook, but not based on what you're doing on a website. That's third party. The Apple one, Apple doesn't do third party tracking at all. But what the Apple switch does is let you turn off first party tracking as well.
So that's very exciting.
So if you leave it on, for example, like, and they don't use it in many places, but if you go to the App Store and it knows you like to play Candy Crush, it'll suggest other puzzle games to you. If you turn it off, it won't do that. And there's no turn off for the Facebook first party stuff. So they're conflating Apple already doing what they're complaining about and offering even more, like almost zero knowledge privacy, which is real privacy. They're using that to say that Apple's not, they're going above and beyond here.
Right.
Yeah.
So they didn't find that the first ad was enough. So Facebook ran a second attack ad directly at Apple, which says, Apple versus the free internet. Love this. Apple plans to roll out a forced software update that will change the internet as we know it for the worst.
And again, the update is not forced.
Yeah. I just did it now. Take your favorite cooking site or sports blog. Most are free because they show you ads.
So hold on a second. I'm going to keep pointing out lies.
Oh, please.
Facebook app having to answer this has nothing to do with the internet. The internet already has a system for this called cookies. We already have to do this. That's already a law. When you see a thing saying this website has cookies, yes or no, do you accept them?
Yes.
That already exists.
Yes.
Facebook is deliberately lying and saying that because their app is going to have to do this tracking thing, you're suddenly eliminated from the internet.
Right.
No.
Right. Exactly. Apple change will limit their ability to run personalized ads to make ends meet. Many will have to start changing you to subscription fees. So they're trying to say that you're going to have to pay more, which is not going to happen. Adding more in-app purchases, making the internet much more expensive, and reducing high-quality free
But this does
content.
nothing to do with the internet. So how?
Nothing.
No, complete lie.
Nothing. This is just Facebook worrying about Facebook.
Yeah.
Beyond hurting apps and websites, many in small business community, and again, I love how they're doing this for themselves. Like, has Facebook tried to help any small businesses on their own? How do you know that something cares about something is where do they spend their money? If they
wanted to help small businesses, they would not charge those small businesses to reach the people who are in the group for that business.
Exactly. They would charge them half the rate if they make under $1 million in a year like Apple did with the App Store.
This is just to give some context here. You have Twitter followers, right?
Yes.
And when you tweet something, everyone who follows you can see it.
Yes.
Facebook's version is you tweet that, they'll only show it to 10%.
Yes.
And if you want other people who already chose to follow you to see it, they will charge you more and more money depending on how many more people you want to see it. If you want to help small businesses, stop doing that.
At a time when they face enormous challenges, they need to be able to effectively reach the people most interested in their products for their services to grow. 44% of small to medium businesses started to or increase their usage of personalized ads. So again, Facebook's talking about Facebook. They're making more money because of the pandemic. everyone's suffering, but Facebook's been making, again, they've increased their usage of personalized ads on social media during the pandemic, according to a new study. Without personalized ads, Facebook data shows that the average small businesser stands to cut over 60% of their sales. Facebook stands to lose 60% of their sales. Because do personalized ads even work? Again, different study.
They do, yeah.
Again, it is a huge debate whether regular ads versus personalized and where the ads are placed, because we've become a little bit numb to anything that's kind of up. We don't even look at it anymore, but different discussion.
And again, some people, if given a choice, will choose personalized ads because they find them less annoying than generic ads. But given the choice thing, which already exists on the web, it's like, again, cookies, it's a known thing.
Yes. Small businesses deserve to be heard. We're standing up to Apple for our small business customers and our communities.
It's so gross. And none of this is Apple all they're doing is making them hit a box saying yes or no, they can track or not track. Facebook has not made a single case for why we should hit that button. Even here, they're arguing incorrectly, illegitimately, non-factually, with lies about why it might hurt small businesses, conflating the web and apps. They've also decided to pitch in with Epic to fight the App Store monopoly.
The interesting thing is that they're trying to go Epic's route of saying we're fighting for the small people. So Epic, if you haven't watched our show on that, watch our show on that. But Epic pretty much did the same thing. We're fighting for the small person. It did not work. It was highly ineffective. I don't know anyone that believed them. I really don't.
Well, there are legitimate frustrations with the App Store, and we've gone over those before. Yes. And there's also legitimate criticisms about Apple. For example, Apple is very comfortable standing up for privacy with Facebook. They are not comfortable at all standing up for privacy with China.
Yeah.
So this by no means does this mean that what Apple is doing everywhere is right.
Apple
they don't have a moral they don't have a moral platform to stand on here. They are being very selective. But when it comes to my privacy, this matters to me, and so I am, by looking at the facts and by looking at the cases being presented, Apple happens to be on my side now.
Yes.
It's like that tree, that end thing. I'm not on anybody's side because nobody's entirely on my side. This happens to be on my side.
Yes. Now we're going in to fight Mordor.
Yeah. And if Apple was not on my side on this, then I would pick whoever was. But I love how Tim Cook, Apple didn't just answer.
No.
Tim Cook, highly unusual.
And he responded personally.
Yes.
Not from the company.
Not a spokesperson.
He went out fully.
Yes.
And said.
On his Twitter account.
We believe users should have the choice over the data that is being collected about them and how it's being used. Facebook can continue to track users across apps and their websites as before. App tracking transparency in iOS 14 will just require that you will ask for permission first.
Yes. The same way you ask for permission to get my contacts, the same way you ask for permission to get my photos.
And I would add, if that is so egregious to Facebook, what are you doing wrong?
Oh, but so concurrently with this, Apple has these new nutrition labels where an app, it's just rolling out now, so they're not everywhere. There's going to be more of them. When you get an app, it'll have to disclose to you what information they're collecting. And people have been posting Facebooks. I don't have it in front of me. I'll find it. I'll put it somewhere in the show notes. But it is like a mile and a half long for Facebook.
It's just scroll.
Apple should just have put that in the New York Times. And it's like your health data. Why is Facebook why does Facebook want access to your health data?
Because they want to sell you health stuff. They want to be able to say, we have all this health data, and now I can sell advertising to people that sell health data.
And the thing is that Facebook is arguing the free internet. And because the English language is terrible, they mean free as in beer, like getting something for free. They don't mean free as in freedom, but they're using the lack of specificity to their advantage to make it think like Apple is attacking freedom on the internet. But free is not always good. We said this before. Apple is like a restaurant, maybe even like a 4-star restaurant. It's expensive, but if you go there, you generally get a really good meal. You have to pay for it, but you get a really good meal. You pay your check and you leave.
Yes.
There is zero expectational debt. Facebook, you walk in, they will give you a free meal, but you have to sit there naked and be probed while you're eating it. And that is free. It's a free meal, totally free, but Is that comfortable? Is that enjoyable? Is that an experience you want?
And at least with this, you would be aware of it before you go in. And if you choose that that's the price you don't mind paying, you still can. So it doesn't stop anything. It just gives you that choice and the knowledge beforehand.
Yes, and to finish the metaphor, Apple's button lets you not be naked. Facebook's button, all Apple is saying is they can still be naked, but you can't probe them. You have to ask them before you probe them. That's all that button does. And Facebook is still Zuckerberg is incensed over that button.
Sorry.
Too visual? Yeah.
Tell us in the comments if that was too visual.
For the full podcast where we talk about our first impressions of Fitness Plus, as well as the AirPods Max, and everything about the intersection of technology and psychology, just subscribe to Apple Talk on YouTube or your favorite podcast player. All of the links are in all of the descriptions. And if you're wondering how I managed to get 5 to 7 videos up a week, as well as an hour-long podcast, it's coffee. The answer is coffee. So much coffee, but good coffee. The kind you can learn to make from Michael Phillips, Director of Training at Blue Bottle. He shows you what it takes to brew the absolute best cup, not just right, but right at home, which is way better than Dunkin' or Timmy's or Starbucks. It's just coffee the way it is meant to be done. Or if coffee isn't your thing, you can check out Thomas Frank's new productivity class, which teaches you how to build sustainable habits without ever feeling like a failure, which honestly has always been something I've personally struggled with. And Thomas just goes through his research, his experience, and his own trial and error, and lays out the groundwork for lasting habits, which is so important right now when so many of us are wondering what's going on, what's even happening next, and are looking for ways to create some sort of structure, meet some small set of goals so we can regain some small sense of control and accomplishment in our lives. And that's the real power of Skillshare. It isn't just one class, even several classes. It's an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. And with an annual subscription, that's less than $10 a month. And there are classes on illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing, and more, with real projects to create and the support of real fellow creatives. More than 7 million of us learning with Skillshare. And the first 1,000 of you who click on the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Yeah, free. Act now and start learning today. And clicking on that link just really helps out the channel. For more Apple Talk, click on the playlist above and just binge your way through all the controversies, all the drama, and how it affects all of our lives. Just click the playlist, and I'll see you in the next video.